Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, Ferrari is in the news as apparently we're going to be getting a mid-cycle refresh for the 458 Italia, supposedly coming up in the year of 2016. But the mid-cycle refresh is not going to be just skin deep like it is with a lot of refreshes. This thing's going to go a lot deeper. Apparently, this vehicle will become the 458M, and if it does, the vehicle will ditch the 4.5-liter normally aspirated V8 in favor of a 3.8-liter twin turbocharged V6. Now, if you're thinking that this is blasphemy and this is outrageous, what's going on here? Apparently, this turbocharged V6 is going to make a lot of smoke, as this vehicle is going to be making just a touch shy of 700 brake horsepower. Now again, this is just rumors floating about from the folks over at Maranello. We'll wait and see what comes of this in the future, and if quite possibly this could be true, but very interesting times for the folks over at Ferrari. And sticking in Maranello with another manufacturer, I bet you thought the Pagani Zonda was dead, as did I, as it would. Amazingly enough, the Zonda's been around for 15 years. Well, apparently it's not dead as of yet, as Pagani was actually building a automobile to give a little bit of an homage to the Le Mans winning race car. Well, apparently there's going to be another love child coming from that particular situation, and it's the 760X. Now, little to nothing is known about this particular automobile other than this powder blue paint with the bare naked carbon fiber all throughout. Very beautiful automobile. Now, we're thinking that this vehicle is still going to have the AMG Mercedes sourced 760 brake horsepower V12 in this particular machine. The 0 to 60 numbers before were right around 2.5 seconds with a top speed of 217 miles an hour. Now, again, don't know too much of anything about this, so hopefully Pagani will let loose of this vehicle to find out just what exactly is going on with this. Thinking it's still going to be a one-off like a lot of the last generation of the Zonda actually was, a whole slew of one-off automobiles, so this thing's going to be pretty doggone pricey. Reckoning it's probably somewhere around $2 million for this particular machine, but we'll wait and see what comes of it in the future. Next up on the list, the Cadillac CTS-V is in the news. It's actually being recalled, and recalled for probably one of its most important parts in this particular automobile, as this vehicle has a supercharged V8 underneath the hood. Well, apparently the supercharger is the problem. Supercharger, actually one of the rotor bearings, is having an issue. Apparently you can hear it at idle. Makes a little bit of a rattling or clanging noise at idle. If left unattended, the vehicle will have a supercharger whine that'll get a lot more aggressive, especially when the car is at speed. It's just the fact that this bearing is actually coming apart. And once it comes completely apart or completely overheats and seizes, yeah, you're going to have some big time problem. That supercharger is going to lock up and it'll burn the heck out of that belt, not to mention what it could do to the internals of the engine. And if the engine is shut down, you may not want to try to start at all. And not only is the CTS-V actually in the issue of this vehicle, is the Camaro ZL1 has the exact same power plant and the exact same supercharger issue. So you got to get on down to your General Motors dealership. Now again, General Motors is going to take total care of this deal. It is a deal done under warranty, and it's going to cost General Motors quite a pretty penny, because these superchargers, and they're going to replace the whole blower unit, it's going to cost $2,100 US for these. Not to mention the labor rates, which is going to be somewhere between 5 and 7 hours to actually replace this and all the parts that are within this particular deal. Now, this being said, General Motors is going to update the old warranty program as far as what's going on with that particular unit, at least the supercharger unit, and the supercharger unit and all the parts and labor combined in this deal will have a further warranty of 10 years or 120,000 miles. So if you have one of these models, get on down to your General Motors dealership right away. Last up on the list, an interesting little story hit the old interwebs over the past several days. In fact, a very entertaining little video. I've got it up on the Motor Cars Enthusiast Facebook page as we speak if you want to take a peek at it. But it has to do with these. These are small hexagon solar panels. And what are they actually going to do with these solar panels? They want to cover every surface as far as sidewalks and driveways and roads and parking lots and everything in the United States. They actually mount right to the ground. You see they're probably about 4 or 5 inches thick, and they're actually covered with a actual crushed glass surface, which apparently has the same traction characteristics as asphalt. So it's a pretty interesting little program. Now what they end up doing is you lay these things down. I don't know exactly how the base deal works. It wasn't exactly explained in the video. But once you lay this particular system down, this deal will actually, well, it'll actually work as solar panels, just like solar panels would. Now, they claim that if you could cover every road and every parking lot and every actual surface that was asphalt, concrete, or whatnot, with these particular panels, they can make 3 times the electricity the United States uses in a year, which sounds pretty good. Now, the real interesting thing is it looks pretty durable even though it's in the early stages and it's a little bit rough. It's actually in the video they show a tractor going across it, which looks pretty weird. But the most interesting thing about this is that the actual panels are full of LED lights. And these LED lights, not only this, it's got a little heater element inside of them where supposedly they're thinking that if you lay these things down, they're going to keep the temperatures up to a constant temp that's going to be above freezing. So when it snows, like in our area, or at least the area the Motor Cars Enthusiast headquarters is in, when it snows like it did big time last year, that it'll never ever, it'll just melt once it touches the contact. It's able to go around these particular solar panels so they're not actually damaged in any way because of rain, sleet, or snow or whatnot. That alone is a pretty interesting deal. Never have to shovel again. Claiming if you cover up with the roads, you won't have to actually use plows and whatnot. Now, the most interesting thing, back to the LED lighting system, is you can change the lighting system for any particular situation. As far as when you got a parking lot, you could set up actually parking lot lines, but then you could change them if you so needed, whatever you may need it. And in this particular situation, that every panel is pressure sensitive. So like, let's say a moose, in this particular situation, walking across the road, not only will it light up where it's walking, but it'll actually display an actual warning on the road as you're driving up to it, warning there may be an animal in the road or something obstructing the road as itself. All of this sounds like fantastic stuff, very interesting, especially they say if you had great big street festivals, you could have, it could be a big light show right underneath your feet. Very interesting deal. Obviously, the big question is who's going to pay for all this particular deal. But again, if you want to check out the Facebook page and check out this video, very entertaining, very neat technology. They're wanting to start a whole Kickstarter program about trying to raise some capital to continue on with the testing of this particular deal, in hopes that maybe someday that everybody will want to do this. But neat technology, interesting little deal when it comes to the roads that we drive on every day. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. If you want to check us out on the Facebook page, links down in the show notes. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can get the first batch of the first brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.